because that is not what we're supposed to be about in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And debates and exchanges like the one that Natalie had with some Moorish Americans who, in all honesty, should know better and should be doing better. That type of exchange doesn't help in clarifying and distinguishing things. And just to be completely transparent, I've actually had issues with several of the Moorish American, the brothers that are Moorish American that Natalie was dealing with, precisely over, one, the language and how we speak to people, and as well as some of the activities and conduct that those brothers have been portraying and displaying online and otherwise, and how that's dangerous and it's not helpful and it's not what Moorish Americans are supposed to be about. So I just wanted, I have a few things to read, and I put the links in the description so that you could read it for yourself. The main thing I just wanted to clarify is identity and religion, because I had heard you say, Natalie, Moorish Americanism, and also when the brothers were speaking, you mentioned, you know, that you were listening for their beliefs. I'm paraphrasing, and so I just wanted to clarify. Moorish American is the identity, is who we are. The religion or belief system, technically, or to be precise, is Islamism, but just for the sake of conversation, just so we're on the same page, Islam. The difference, and also, actually, just to back it up a second, Moors, we got this information, and this information was brought to us by a person named Noble Drali. Many Moorish Americans, you may hear referred to him as Prophet Noble Drali, and that is because we do believe, in essence, that he was a prophet from God, the Creator, Allah, whatever name you may use for our Creator.
Right there. Disqualified. Because she is an atheist. So you talking about God and all that stuff is irrelevant to her. You think she's coming up talking about, oh, well, we apologize for, not listening to you, because you're actually talking about your religious right through the Constitution, not from God. Okay, I apologize. She's not gonna apologize. So how? Like we said, people are getting looked at funny right now. In these times of trying weak minds, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to get the step back and you're going to get the sized up from head to toe. Because we just have to check to see how real this is. There's a lot of funny stuff going on there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I call people out and stuff because if you got the bag, why would you even be online? Like what? Like it's like that? Like you got the bag and you absolutely have nothing else to do but to come on here and reply to some BS talking about apologies to an officer of the court, who we know that's an officer of the court. I don't know what's going on.
But the tricky thing, or the thing that I feel is not really clarified enough, is that it is two sides to.
Oh yeah, and it ain't nothing about nothing to clarify. She's an officer of the court. She already knows this information. Not putting her onto some game or something like that. She already knows what's up. She already got to sit down in the back room with whoever. All the Moors, whoever tried that stuff in court, they get arrested. No, they don't. That's a lie. That's a lie. Not all Moors who go to court get arrested. Some of them get all their charges dismissed and they get to go home. Some of them don't even see the courtroom. There's Moors who the court calls them to tell them, oh, don't worry about coming in today, because we're going to dismiss all the cases, all the charges. So don't let them put that stuff out there. And remember, this is coming from a Moor, because he's riding with the officer of the court. So that means any dummy who's watching this is going to say, oh, the Moor said that, the lawyer said that, and then they're going to go to her channel and listen to the BS that she's talking about and think that that's Moors. No, it's not.
To the movement or to the organization that Noah Ali founded and created, was the leader of. And I want to read real quick his introduction to the organization, just so you can get a better understanding. And this is coming from the Moorish Leader's Historical Message to America. It says, in connection with the Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization, covering its inception, rise, and progress of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you, and by the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of at all times upholding these fundamental principles, which are desired for our civilization, of our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925, and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29, 1926. The Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1928, in accordance with legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. The object of our organization, 1928, in accordance with laws of the State of Illinois, November 29, 1926. The Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1928, in accordance with legal requirements.
Right, 1928. Right. Again, like we're saying, there's elements in this. There's elements in this. So here's an element that is playing games, which is why people would say that this is religious, and then, you know, when you go check and they got 501c3 and all this, because you're thinking these are the Moors. This is the example. The Moors who are doing it the religious way, or Moorish Science Temple and all that. That's not the all and be all. That is an aspect, but that's not the all and be all. Making that the all and be all is criminal, because this is about nationhood, not organizationhood. This is not about corporationhood. Right? And all of them tell on themselves. All of them tell on themselves by talking the same way that the colonizer talks. Right?
Colleagues and guests, Mr. President, it's a great pleasure to present this resolution Moorish Science Temple of America on its 100th anniversary. Whereas the Moorish Science Temple of America was founded in 1913 AD by Prophet...
No, it wasn't. Moorish Science Temple of America wasn't founded in 1913 AD. Why are they trying to make it look like Moorish Science Temple of America was from the beginning of all this? And then these same Moors who are going to tell you Moorish Science Temple of America 1913 are the same ones who are going to have fatwas against you because they're claiming to be sitting in the official capacity of the Moorish Science Temple of America, but they're using their stuff to sell you out. Right? Grand Sheik, Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. At the outset, we state that we, the Moorish Science Temple of America, are indeed empathetic to those who have been fraudulently misled by those who claim to be affiliated with the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. The Moorish Science Temple of America was founded by Prophet Noble Jew Ali in 1913 AD. The Moorish Science Temple of America was founded for the express purpose of uplifting fallen humanity. Due to the ubiquitous nature of the Moorish Science Temple of America, it is also a movement, a Moorish national and divine movement. Moorish Science Temple of America, 1913. Right. Now listen to how they're talking and tell me who this sounds like. In recent times, there has been a renewed interest in the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated and its teachings. This renewed interest has been sparked in some instances by way of a foreign teaching which was attempted to creep its way into the philosophy and doctrine of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. Today, some people are under the misconception and erroneous notion that the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated is a place where one can learn how to forego their civic duty of paying taxes, obtain their straw man, and assert their so-called sovereignty, etc. We assertively declare that the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated is in no form or fashion a sovereign citizen movement or a tax protester movement. Consequently, our teachings are diametrically opposed to that ideology. The Holy Prophet Noble Jew Ali did not establish the Moorish Science Temple of America for its members to become anarchists or conspiracy theorists. The Moorish Science Temple of America was actually incorporated as a civic organization under the appellation Moorish Temple of Science, November 29, 1916. The object at that time was to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. Although the organization was civic at that time, the work was largely religious. Consequently, the organization was legally changed to a religious corporation with the express determination to propagate the faith and extend the learning and truth of the great Prophet of Ali in America, to appoint and consecrate missionaries of the Prophet, and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. Prophet Noble Jew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, is clear and equivocally as far as explaining the aims, goals, and objectives of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. In fact, Acts 4 and 5 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America unequivocally states, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. This organization of the Moral Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. We of the Moral Science Temple of America are friends and servants of humanity. We of the Moral Science Temple of America, like countless other American citizens, know that we must live together here in America in harmony, friendship, and goodwill, whatever our race or creed may be. Let us all learn to love instead of hate. The Moorish Divine National Movement stands for the specific grand principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And then they got their signatures on there. And these are the same ones. These are the same ones who are going in City Hall and getting resolutions and all this. Why? Because they're taking the side of the colonists. They're not taking the side of Noble Drew Ali and have your own jurisdiction where you have your own mayor and your own whatever. But what Drew Ali say, oh, you want European ones of those? No problem. There you go. Since you want to play around like this is some religious thing. Since you want to play like religious, I'm going to go to the soul plane because you people are playing games down here. You ain't wasting time with you people down here. I'm going to go to the soul plane where I could do some actual real work that needs to get done. And the Moors who were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. And the Moors who are against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. So don't be surprised because it's Moors that killed your prophet and have all this confusion right now going on. It's not some European. It was Moors. Used their authority that they had with the corporate states and the corporate cities and sold you out. Sold you out. Right? Got Morocco across the Atlantic talking about it. How is Moral Science Temple of America representing Morocco? That's a religious corporation. Like, why are they saying that they're Moroccan? They can't say that they're Moroccan. Moroccans confused. Why? Because they know Morocco's a nationality. And they know over here's Morocco, as well as over there. This is Morocco, the farthest west. All these pale Arabs know that. But we want to play like this is some temple thing. This is some building thing. And not looking at it as the building is the nation. That's where you're housed at. That's your state at the moment. Worst come to worst, go to the Moral Science Temple of America. That's your state. Oh, they're about to whatever. Oh, the Moral Science Temple, that's your bunker. And then everybody's supposed to be able to run to one. That's why Drew Ali said, if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality. Because that's about all you got left. Because these people already robbed you of everything else. And that was the 20s. What do you think you got now? You think you got something? And all because of these traitors who are around today, still, right now, keeping the confusion going. Keeping the confusion going. Why are they keeping the confusion going? Opposed to setting things aright. Remember, Morocco is questioning them. Moral Science Temple of America represents Morocco at a flag raising? How? That's a religious corporation. That can't represent a nation. Now, how you know that it's an organization thing is because how you know it's an organization thing is because they only invited their members there. Why would they only invite their members there if this is a Morocco flag waving? How come there's not 50,000 people here with turbans and fezzes on? This is why it's not a religious thing. It can't be a religious thing because it's represented by a national flag. So it can't be a religious thing. I don't care if it's called temple, it can't be a religious thing. As soon as you put it in religious, you're working with the traitors to cause confusion. Because this can't be religious if there's a national flag right there. But this is how dumb Moors were back then. Why Noble Drew Ali said this has to be religious. You talk about people have third grade reading level now. What they have back then? What they have back then? Playing games. That they're Moors because they got a fez on. They're not studying. And then back then you had to actually go to the library or whatever to get books and all that. You're going online to go punch some stuff up. You better realize that this is not a game. They didn't even invite the nation to the Morocco Day. Why do you think we look like clowns to people? Not because some Europeans, because of your own. Why would they know? Why would they know? Right? Why would they know that there's gonna be a Morocco flag day and they only tell their temple members? There's a Morocco flag day. You didn't tell all the Moors all around there so everybody could show up? The Moors talking about marching and that. Now that's something to march to. You're gonna march. Yeah, there's the city of whatever is doing a Morocco Day. All right, we're all going there. That's something to go march to. If we're gonna march for something. Not just gonna go out there just to march just because we can. We marching. This is not religious. We are a nation. You gotta be subjugated. We're still a nation. Might be under occupation. We're still a nation. Oh yeah. In regard to these religiousized, this religiousized Moors idea.
Yeah. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. Probably.
Oh yeah, just put yourself on the record there so everybody knows what's up.
Oh Islam, peace and love to everybody, all the Moors, awakened and sleepy Moors. It's something about that. Just coming to give you a little testimonial, a little information, man, some things that's been going on here. So I guess we going back probably about 2 months. Me and the family from the Moors over at the round table out doing the street cleaning. And in the midst of the street cleaning, you know, we got people riding by, honking their horns, people thanking us, you know, police riding by, waving and all that type of thing. Real peaceful demonstration we was out there doing. We was out there cleaning up for probably about a good 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. And just so happened that the Grand Sheik from one of the temples actually rode by. So, you know, he stopped, you know, what's going on, what y'all up to, you know, a little bit of community service. We just out here, you know, cleaning up a little bit. And, you know, he just kind of like nodded and was like, all right. And then he pulled off. So I can't say that I know him, but I know who he is. I was actually come past his temple one time, probably a little more than a year ago. Me and Todd Street, they went over there. And it was heated at first, you know what I'm saying? Too many misunderstandings, too much finger pointing, too much blame laying, and none of that coming from us. You know what I'm saying? Just from people in the, you know, the rumor mill. Well, you did this, you did that, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So, fast forward a whole year or so, till about 2 weeks ago. We had some class at the York House, Saturday before last. And probably 45 minutes before I wrap up, the Grand Sheik comes in. And, you know, I acknowledge him. That's why I'm Grand Sheik when he came in. And, he spoke back. So he sat down and he made his way up to the front of the room. So I asked him, I put him to the side because Todd was actually going in on some stuff. Todd wasn't actually attacking the Morris Symbol of America. Todd was doing what he always do, speaking about the people that's a part of the Morris Symbol of America who are not doing the prophet's work, who are doing their own work. They're not sticking to the foundation or building upon the foundation that the prophet laid down. They actually tore that foundation down and started doing their own thing. So I had already gone in on it. I actually addressed that guy Saharka that was saying, that the treaty wasn't having anything to do with Morris Americans and all that. So I actually went into the treaty and broke it down. Went into the Constitution, broke it down, and showed how it applies to us. And in the midst of that, Grand Sheik just happened to walk in. So when he walked in, what he was thinking is that he heard Taj attacking the Morris Symbol of America. And I found this out Saturday. And when he said he wanted to speak to the people, I'm thinking, all right, he got a message he wanted to deliver, or he got something to say to the people. When he sat down and I gave him the microphone, he immediately turned his attention to Taj. And he looked at Taj and he took a deep breath. So when he took a deep breath, now I'm on guard because I'm thinking, what the hell is he getting ready to say? What is he getting ready to do? So he said to Taj, are you a member of the Morris Symbol of America? So Taj looked at him, and Taj said, I never stopped being a member of the Morris Symbol of America.
Islam.
So then his response was, then why can't you do and say everything that you do and say under the Morris Symbol of America? So Taj did what he did. He went on his ass. and it was, Taj went on his ass. It was it was a little back and forth, but Taj solidified his point. So then, when the Sheik, I guess he didn't know what to say after that. A young brother came up. Now the young brother started out at the York House with us, and he went over to the temple. So he came up, and their whole purpose for coming to the York House, for coming to my forum, was he said, I want to talk about unity. So if you want to talk about unity, then what you should do is come to me and say, listen, I want to talk about unity. I want to talk about doing this, that, and third. Is it some time where we can sit down and talk? You don't come to my forum and sit down and verbally attack my master teacher, everybody else's master teacher, in front of people that love him. You made yourself look bad.
You're lucky you didn't.
You don't do that. You don't. See, Sheik, like I said, I was extremely pissed off. But the one thing that I didn't do is I didn't react. I learned well from Taj. I learned well from Abdullah Ilkali most of the day.
Yep.
So I didn't react. Although I was extremely pissed off, I didn't react. So, the brother sitting there and he just going and going. And I let him have the floor. I let him say everything he wanted to say.
Right, and that's where the love stuff that he's talking about, that's where that comes in. That's where the love is most effective. Knowing that your brother, who knows that he's a Moor, a Fezan and all that stuff, needs to get his face smashed in, but you yield. Out of love. The stuff what he's talking about, Rami, with, Moors are, don't even go there. How dare you be sorry to the pedophiles? And you're looking at Senra, well, you shouldn't have talked to him like that because, what do you mean? He came on someone else's forum. You can't come on someone else's forum, talk crazy, and then get mad when the lynch mob comes to get you. You can't be mad.
And then when he was finished, I kindly stood up and I took my microphone back and I said, listen, what you need to understand is this. You're MSTA. That's fine. I'm always ordered a round table. I said, but what you need to understand is we are microcosms under the macrocosm called the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World.
Islam, say that again, because somebody said that we're selling Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World seals for 30 notes.
No, we ain't selling no seals.
Say that again.
So everybody, clean out your ears, close your mouth, and listen to what I'm about to say. Go into the prophet's literature. Go back to 1910. Go to when the prophet first came out and said, come ye Asiatics and hear the truth about your nationality and birthright. Go back to then. Because at that point in time, back in 1910, when he was in and out of barbershops and up and down the street in North New Jersey, how about this, Sheik? How about when I asked if anybody knew, and this went to the temple members as well, if anybody knew what was the prophet's ploy for getting people to listen to him in the first place? How about none of them never even knew he was a herbalist? You're telling me you didn't read the lessons, you didn't read the word. Right. So before any of that, there was the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World. So with me being Moors Order of the Round Table, with you being Moorish Science Temple of America, we are microcosms in the macrocosm called the Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World. And for anybody who got any mumblings or anything to say about me and the Moorish Science Temple of America, I'm talking to my brother on the phone, the Grand Chief of the Canaanland Moorish Science Temple of America, where I go a few times a year. So there's no issue with me in the temple. There's an issue with me and people.
Exactly.
Now, so back to the brother, he said, man, we need help. That's why we come around here. We need help, man. And if y'all come around there and y'all come help us do this, that, and third. All right, so if you need help, then come to me. Don't come to my forum and try to imprint yourself on the people because you're making yourself look bad. Come to me and say, listen, we need help. Any way we can do this, that, and third. Then I'll reach out to the people and say, listen.
And that's why we would bring certain people on our platform and let them talk, because we know they're going to lynch themselves. You can only talk crazy about Moors for so long. It's not going to last forever. It's only going to be so long. It's only going to be so long.
Of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. And so from there, that's just a brief excerpt. It's a long message, but I wanted to highlight the object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. And earlier it said that initially it was legally incorporated as a civic organization. And I wanted to highlight that because there's an aspect of this movement that is religious, that is based on beliefs. And actually I'll get to that. This is one of the Quran Circle 7 that Noah Ali brought, which is different than the Quran that was brought by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I don't want to really get into the specifics of that, but I did want to read just something really quick.
Oh yeah, don't forget, Don't forget to get your 77 amazing facts about the Moors with complete proof. Cujo L, Naji Ula L, Rami Salam L. Just so you know. Here they're cloning people's favorite rappers now and stuff, so I don't know, I'm just saying, just don't forget the book. Don't get it twisted if you hear stuff crazy right now. Don't go burn your book and stuff like that.
From the religious aspect of things, and because it relates to the discussion, debate that you had with those brothers who are Moorish American, or claim that. And I want to read chapter 10, lines 9 and 10. It says, "Now men and birds and beasts and creepy things are deities made flesh. And how dare you kill anything? It is cruelty that makes the world awry. And when men have learned that when they harm a living thing, they harm themselves, they surely will not kill nor cause a thing that Allah has made to suffer pain." And that chapter is entitled, "Jesus Spake on the Unity of Allah and Man to the Hindus." And I wanted to highlight that line in that excerpt because one of the Moors, it was on that debate with you. I've actually made several videos speaking directly to him about his pushing for a quote-unquote Moorish militia and how that goes against the teachings that Noble Drew Ali brought.
No. How? I'm just saying, right? How is it you're against militia, but then behind you you have a skull and crossbones, which is basically the flag of the militia? What's going on here? How is it that when we do our research about the skull and bones, we're going to find out that the skull and bones were a militia? And again, trying to put this thing out there as if this is religious, but because it's religious, it's not supposed to have a Second Amendment element. Like, why wouldn't it? You think you're just running on the Amish land or whatever like that? It's not really going down like that. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to accept the reality that Noble Drew Ali in the literature was talking about national and we're a nation? Okay, so if we're a nation, then we should have every department. There's not, if we're going to have a department that's going to issue Moors tags and everything having to do with being behind the wheel of a conveyance and having your own Moorish whatever, then why wouldn't we have a Moorish police force? Why wouldn't we have Moorish military, Moorish secret service, protect all the grand sheiks and all that stuff? Like, why wouldn't we have that? That's not murder somebody because we want to have all the aspects that it takes to be a nation covered. And more over there says, well, we're gonna whatever. And so more over there says, hey, we're gonna do this. No, more say that they're doing health. You're not mad at them. You're not mad at them. What is the driving force behind telling Moors that they can be the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and then as soon as you get to M, you're leaving M out because the only thing to put there is military, and then you go in the end talking about some other stuff, nurses and going down the line. Why is it so hard? Why wouldn't you, as a Moor, want to call the Moorish police if I have an issue? Like, why am I calling the foreigner? If there's some issue. Shouldn't be any issues, but let's just say there's an issue. Why do I have to call foreigner? Why can't I call my own version? House is burning down and calling the Moorish USAR, Urban Search and Rescue, not Cannon Bay and all that stuff. The real USAR, the Urban Search and Rescue, not fake Prime Minister and fake President Cannon Bay guy talking about their USAR, United States of America Republic. That's a fiction. Don't compare us to them either. Because USAR is Urban Search and Rescue. We should have a Moorish version of that. That's what they should be. But nah, they want to be prime ministers and stuff like that. But you're calling yourself fire department. How are you the government, but you're calling yourself fire department? Yeah, we're the government. We're a fire department. And people are so dumb, they don't see that they're getting played. USAR is Urban Search and Rescue, nothing else. It's always been that. There's no such thing as a government, USAR, United States of America Republic. That's a fiction. Those are Moors. We're not even talking about officers of the court right now. We're talking about people who are on our side. Confusing people. Making up dumb stuff. Just like what this Moor is doing, making up dumb stuff. So we're going to have a Moorish health whatever, where we can have all the healthiest whatever for Moors, but we're not going to have a Moorish military? We're not going to have that? Nobody said you have to be in it. Nobody said you have to be in it. But I mean, you know, you got to, if we're going to say we're a nation, we should have military. I mean, there should be some Moors who got some guns or something like that. You know what I mean? Slingshot, something. It must be the slingshot Moor. Hit something 300 yards. At least that guy. At least that guy. Who could slingshot a can off your head at 500. There's no way we're going to have nobody for a nation. Come on now. Get real. Right? Get real.
Pardon me. Mainly what I just read here, where it's teaching us that we're not supposed to kill or harm any living thing.
So, because we say, who said anything about killing or harming anybody? There was never, ever, once, ever that Moorish militia said anything about killing anybody. Never, ever was that said ever. Never, ever was that insinuated. Never, ever was that assumed that somebody could do that. Somebody saying that, someone saying Moorish militia means they're going to go out and kill people. If someone's talking like that, they are who you better watch out for. Because I don't see one video about the Hells Angels. I don't see one video about the Triads. I don't see one video about gang, whoever that's shooting their brothers in the face for nothing. I'm not seeing anything about that. I'm not seeing nothing about any of these rappers waving guns in their videos. I'm not hearing nothing about the highwaymen got guns and they're abusing their stuff. I'm not hearing anything about the military for these corporations got guns and they're using their stuff. They're not talking about them. But as soon as more start talking about arms and stuff like that, now everybody, oh my God, well, everybody's jumpy. Why are you jumpy? What's the problem? What's the problem? Your cousin just gun butted some guy yesterday. What do you mean? What are you talking about? The Moors. Well, we're talking. You can't say that because they're going to kill people. You don't worry about anybody else killing people. You're not worried about anybody else getting murdered with these same arms that you're saying Moors can't have. But when Moors start talking about it, it's a problem. It's an issue. Why? Unless these people are working on the other side, trying to cause confusion. Why shouldn't... Go down the list. We say that we're a nation as Moors. Go down the list of everybody. You probably have maybe like 2%, 3% of those nations of the world that don't have a military. Everybody else, they have something. They have something. So to think that Moors shouldn't have hospitals. No, Moors can't have hospitals because that means people are going to be making biological weapons out of the hospitals, so you can't have hospitals. All right. And remember, these are Moors talking. We're talking about Negro, black, colored people right now who are talking. This is a Moor talking. Right? It's really not rocket science.
And so the idea that this brother is claiming to be a Moorish American and honoring Noble Drew Ali and these teachings, but then also promoting and pushing this idea of a Moorish militia goes completely against what we're taught on a religious level, as well as on the national or the civic side of things.
Okay, so if the whole point of having a Moorish militia is something negative, let's go with having guns or whatever is negative. Okay. We've known about skinhead groups or whatever that have guns and arms and whatever else, and nothing said to them. We know their intentions are do stuff to people who don't look like them, but they're not the issue. We're worried about some guy across the Atlantic Ocean that has a suicide bomb. That's what we're worried about. We're not concerned about these people right around here who are exercising the same thing that the Moorish militia is talking about, which is protecting yourself, having some type of protection that is more than a slingshot. Slingshots are cool, spears are alright and stuff like that, but you know, you might want to hit somebody sooner than a spear is going to get there. Right? Just in case, anything could happen. Right? And again, for the record, on the record, let the record show, there is absolutely no insinuating that because Moors have guns, that means this is their birthright, so go shoot the place up because this is our birthright, and go rob everybody's, because this is our land and you need to pay your taxes. We have guns and we're going to put them to your head and you better pay your taxes, there's none of that. There's none of going to the land registry office and holding up the place and telling them, give us all the all the allodial titles for everything because it's ours. There's none of that. We're talking about a right to protect whatever you got. If you have that right to protect your stuff, that's all. If you want to protect your stuff as a group, that's a militia. Because you have a right to protect your stuff. The more of you that come together, you protect your stuff, then your stuff's probably going to be protected. More than likely. More likely, just a hunch. I'm not really sure exactly, but just a hunch.
Things, but I just wanted to highlight.
Don't even talk about he has a song about murdering police. Don't even say that there's a song. Don't even say that there's a song. If there's a song, then we already that should tell you something. If there's a song that Rami's talking about murdering anything whatsoever, then you're gonna have to let the chips fall where they land. Because I don't need any more than that if that's the case. I don't need convincing. That'll be a good one. Then there absolutely is no reason for this other than to cause confusion then, if there's a song. If there's a song, then there's no reason. This is to cause confusion, to get people to look at Moors as we don't know what we're talking about. Because this Moor is siding with a lawyer, which all Moors should side with the lawyers because this Moor said so. No, sorry. None of that.
The religious aspect as well.
None of that.
The other line that I want to read for you is chapter 8, lines 11 and 12. In this chapter is titled, Jesus Reveals to the People of Their Sinful Ways. And it says, and when man honors man, he honors Allah. And what man does for man, he does for Allah. And you must bear in mind that when man harms in thought, word, or deed another man, he does a wrong to Allah. I wanted to highlight that because, and to be completely transparent, I have spoken to Cujo Awal, the Canaanland Moors brother, specifically about calling people the N-word. And that's, it's not right, it's harmful,
Boo-hoo, cry me a river. Cry me a river. I know I put my time in of letting our people know what's up. They don't get it yet? You're a dumbass. They still want to play games. Like, well, what do you mean? And if they're not just wanting to know, eyes wide open, don't even know what to do with themselves, because what you're telling me, this is shattering every single paradigm that I've thought existed. Worried about how people think, how people look at the Moors. They don't even have a status. I don't care what they think. What am I concerned what somebody stateless thinks about what we're doing? Right? We know Moors all over the world. You know what Moors all over the world said ever since we started putting out information? You know what, man? The way you had me laughing in class. I'm going to come back there another time. Because class was really learning. Class was really learning. Man, you gave me that RV Bay Publications website and I haven't looked back since. So we know. We're not assuming. We're not doing this out of assumption. We put out information because we know. Just like sports and whatever like that, there's errors. There's errors. In the paradigm of learning about our nationality and birthrights, there's errors. Right? All of it, Noble Juali is the foundation. But there's errors. There's a Great Seal error. There's a Moors Order of the Round Table error. There's a Moor Science Temple active Moors error. There's a militia Moors error. There's a have our own money as Moors error. There's all these different errors. And we're in the generation that people thought were the eyes wide open Moors. The people who took the bull by the horns. Go here with a rope. Come here, a bull. Like, let's go. You're oxen. And they're going to do it because that's what they do. They're oxen. Hey, you wearing red or something like that, they get mad at you. Like a dumbass. Don't be dumb. We're from an era. And people thought our era was the eyes wide open Moors. Oh yeah, Drew Ali said Moors are. You Moors are the Moors. No, it wasn't even us. The Moors who's coming behind us. We weren't even the ones yet. We just had crusty eyes. Eyes weren't even open yet. We were just seeing some stuff. And so the era that we represent in this, many people now getting into this have to cross this to get wherever you're going. If you don't cross this era, you're probably not going to make it. More than likely, you're not going to make it. Just because we were the last of a dying breed. Oh yeah, can't forget the Dirty Moor era. And then all of them still around today.
That language does not help us, that's not uplifting. And I saw that.
Oh yeah, and why does he keep talking as if, we were dealing with our brother or sister or somebody who wants to know this information or American sympathizer or we were talking to them. We were talking with an officer of the Inquisition court. But they got us like this right now. There's the countdown. I never seen a countdown in a good while. They got us back under manners. Somebody snitched. Honors to all the Moors. Get the 77 remaining facts, but don't listen to anything Rami's saying right now. He's talking crazy. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love.